The case has far-reaching implications that won't be over soon, and among them, two campus leaders are awaiting trial on allegations that they failed to take steps to address sex abuse claims at Penn State.
Casarez, correspondent for In Session on TruTV, has been following this story for us since the start. She's in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. Jean, good morning. Jean, there were 48 counts in this indictment, and the jury returned a verdict in just 21 hours. Did the speed of this surprise you?
You know, yes and no, because there were so many counts, but there were so many similar counts. There were patterns of sexual abuse and molestation. And so I think that once they got going, I can see that 21 hours would be justified. It seems like they had difficulty with the two accusers that were not in court, because those were the two major questions from the jurors during this deliberation.
Sandusky's attorneys, Jean, are now saying they will appeal this, that they were hampered by the speed with which this case went to trial. Do you think that any additional time would have changed things here?
Potentially, and maybe not. I think what I was surprised in with the defense case, because all of the young men testified it was the summer of this particular year. I stayed with him every weekend, so I was surprised that they didn't bring forth calendars through Dottie Sandusky to look at that summer and talk about how they weren't there during the summer, or at least a type of an alibi situation, to be more precise, to discredit all the times that the young man said he was sexually abused.
Jean, you know, the defense says they're going to appeal this, but I mean, is there anything that you heard in the trial that you think opens good ground for them to appeal this case?
You know, this was a fairly streamless trial, and I just don't really see anything but for the fact that they were not allowed continuances. I have never seen something go to trial so fast, never. But yet, I don't know if that's an abuse of discretion right there, and that's what it has to be. But they never got one continuance, and it was just months ago that all these charges were filed.
What happens next from the university's perspective and to the university when they have two officials there who face charges of perjury?
Well, they just have to sit and wait. You know, there is an internal investigation going forward with the university. There will be many civil lawsuits for the university. They will just have to sit with their attorneys and deal with all of it. However, there could be more prosecutions, because we know the grand jury has been continuing to hear testimony through these months. We know there are other accusers that have stepped forward. Even Matt Sandusky, the adopted son of Jerry Sandusky, is now saying through his lawyers that he was abused. So there may be more prosecutions in this case against Jerry Sandusky.
Jean, why do you think the prosecution mentioned that Matt Sandusky had come forward? Why do you think they didn't include him in this case?
Well, we don't know when he came forward, and it appears as though it was very, very late in the game that he came forward. Why did he wait until then? We don't know. We can't get inside his mind, but it is believed that they would have used him as a rebuttal witness, and that may be why at the very last minute Jerry Sandusky did not testify, because we all thought he was going to take the stand.
And that was certainly the case, at least that his attorneys made last night in their statement, that because of Matt coming forward, they changed their game plan when it came to Jerry Sandusky. Does the fact that Matt Sandusky is now out there essentially saying that this happened to him as well, does that change anything? And could we hear an additional case on those grounds?
No question, no question. And, you know, a lot of people have wondered, what did Dottie know? She was in that courtroom last night. She was very stoic. She has supported her husband the whole way. She has denied everything. What does Matt Sandusky know on that issue? Because he lived in that home day after day after day, and that may open up a can of worms, in fact.
Jean Casarez in Bellefonte, Pennsylvania this morning. Jean, thanks so much for being with us.